Good morning. Hello, I'm Jared Logan. You're watching The Stream of Blood and today's presentation of our ongoing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game, Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. The children of the morning, what music they make. I just always think it's so funny that we do a game about creatures of the night, but we do it when I'm still having my coffee. I think it's a really nice combo. You know, who doesn't want to wake up and just, kind of hear a story about, human souls being eviscerated to fill the bloodlust of undying creatures, arguably of evil. I'm so happy that you guys are here this morning. This is my favorite show we do. We have such a great cast, and we've been doing it so long that a lot of interesting things are happening. Creatures are coming back, characters are coming back, and I just love where it's going. So without too much more pre-roll, let's get right into it. I'm going to bring in our players. This guy, he is a Stream of Blood regular, an improviser, a raconteur, and scholar. He plays Curtis Krieger, former drug addict who now has drug dealers addicted to his blood. Please welcome my buddy Ross Bryant, everybody.
Oh, hey, Jared. Hey, good morning, man. As usual, due to the bit that I've just refused to let die, you've caught me reading. And mainly this is just so that I can recommend a book to you that you probably already heard of, because I think you'd really dig it. This Wagnerism, Art and Politics in the Shadow of Music by Alex Ross. Ooh. Which is not about like Wagner's operas, but about the cultural history of the reaction to Wagner's operas. And to me, my favorite portion of this is where it gets into Wagner fans who are late 19th century esoteric magical types. Ooh. The coolest one so far that I've learned about is this guy named Josephine Péladan, who dressed like a monk like all the time, wore a robe, had a forked beard, and thought of himself as a magus or wizard. And,
the life that I would lead if society allowed me to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten to see the Wagner performed?
I never have. It was kind of a project of lockdown to try to like make opera sort of coherent to myself, because it was like one of this genre of music where I was like, I don't get it. And so I've kind of tried to get it. And over the past couple of weeks, I've watched the whole Ring cycle, because a bunch of different versions are on YouTube. Yeah. So I watched one, and it's, shocker of shockers, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. I have the old Fritz Lang movie, the silent movie that's based on the mythology. It's not really the opera. And at one time I listened to a Stereo Lab, that show on NPR where they just talked about the Ring cycle and how, performances of it last 3 days, and people come to these big, or they used to, or they will again, come to these big convocations to get into it. It's fascinating stuff. Also, the basis for J.R.R. Tolkien's, some of the basis for the Lord of the Rings. So, yeah,
and there's blood drinking to tie it back to us. In Götterdämmerung, Gunther and Siegfried swear a blood oath by drinking their own blood out of a chalice.
Holy shit!
They commingle their blood in a chalice and drink an oath to be blood brothers to each other.
Okay, so I know a lot of people out there, you're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e instead of Vampire, and you want to get a little more Vampire in that game. I think it's time to add blood-drinking blood oaths to your 5th level bard and 5th level sorcerer. Make them do that to swear an alliance to each other. I think that's just a great idea. Yeah. Let's bring in our next player and find out what her favorite opera is. She is a fantastic actress. You've heard her on many of your favorite video games, including The Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn. And she's on Apple TV Plus on the show Mythic Quest. She plays Jen Brown, the leader of the Anarch movement, who is desperately searching for a way to return humanity to her coterie mates who are quickly losing it. Please welcome our pal, Ashley Burch, everybody.
It's so fun going after Ross because you guys have the most intelligent and culturally relevant conversation. And I'm like, I watched WandaVision. Do you want to hear my WandaVision theories?
I also watched WandaVision.
The other type of opera, WandaVision, I'm loving it.
It's great. It's really weird, and I like it.
It is really weird. And they really took a big swing, and then I think that they're hitting it. They're hitting it out of the park. Did you know Agatha? Well, I almost spoiled for people.
Ooh, good catch.
I stopped myself though.
Good catch.
I would like to apologize if even that much was annoying for people. So are you caught up though, Ashley?
I am. Yes.
Were you surprised by what's happening? I was a little bit.
I think, well, not to spoil it, but the way that character was acting, I was doing a bit of during.
Yeah, there's also a little bit of casting suspicion. You can have you like, that's a pretty big actor.
Yes.
I bet there's something to what they're doing there. Yeah.
Yes, totally.
I can't wait to see. I think is the next one the last one?
Is it?
I don't know. I could be wrong about that. It seems like they're getting toward the end of the story, and then spoilers are on the table, everybody. The only other thing I'll say is I can't wait for you guys to find out that Vampires of Pittsburgh is actually just a simulacrum that your characters are moving through, and that we're going to reveal in-game that you are actually role-playing game players named Ross, Bryant, and Ashley.
Inception.
Yeah, we're going to incept it. Here's a man who always blows my mind with his reality warping gameplay. He's a fantastic actor you can see on Raised by Wolves on HBO Max, and you've also heard his voice in the Assassin's Creed series, playing Lucius Ali, the revolutionary doctor / Aventru with interesting theories about where kindred kind should go. Please welcome our friend Abubakar Saleem, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
All right, it's so funny. As soon as you guys were talking earlier, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, if you're going to be drinking blood, aren't you just going to, like, pee it out? Like, how is that even, like, that's not broy,
It's not broy, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's not true.
That's a good point. Like, later you're going to be urinating, you're going to be like, well, there goes my blood oath with my pal.
It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, well, that lasted long.
Like many hyper masculine gestures, it does have a peeing component.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
Yes. Guys, welcome all the way from South Africa, Abu. Guys, I just want to say really quickly, if you are in Texas, as I know some of our viewers are, we all are thinking about you and hoping safety and warmth for you and to everyone out there. Stay safe. Keep wearing a mask. We all feel that you should stay safe still and keep wearing a mask. And if you're in Texas, we're thinking about you and hoping that you stay warm. Are we ready to play some Vampires of Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. A year ago, these kindred broke the Masquerade, and there were consequences. The Second Inquisition has taken over the city of Pittsburgh. Havens are burning. Your friends are dead. Can you survive in this new paradigm? This is Lockdown. And let's have a brief recap. This is where I talk really fast like an auctioneer and try to remember everything that happened last time. Suffice it to say that the vampire, the kindred that our friend Lucius had awakened from torpor that he had found in the waste dump site in the place where they had the encounter with the Inquisition turned out to be Alice, a member of Buddy's coterie. Buddy is from all the way back at, I think, like episode 10 of Vampires of Pittsburgh, episode 11. He had a coterie based out of a garage who were basically selling human blood dolls to other vampires to use for food. The Camarilla, they came down on Buddy. They raided his installation, but one of the people to escape from that raid by the Camarilla was Alice. Alice is a devoted follower of Buddy, as she has explained to Lucius Ali, and she has poised herself as a potential ally and asset to the coterie. She hunted alongside our friend Curtis Krieger, proved herself to be a very capable predator, And in addition to that, she offered to Lucius to connect with some spies that she had that could help Lucius find out about the location of the Archon, the defenses, and the circumstances around River Run Properties. River Run Properties is a housing subdivision on Washington's Landing that is the current headquarters of the Camarilla. And if we recall, Lucius wants to destroy his sire, the Archon Isabel, who is ostensibly at River Run Properties on Washington's Landing. Likewise, Jen Brown would like to rescue or come to terms with Sabrina, her touchstone, who is also out there serving Sonia. Sonia being the new possible prince of the city, according to the Camarilla. So that is why they wanted info on the Washington Landing subdivision. And when Lucius met Alice's spies, they were unexpected. Alice took him to an old firehouse in Troy Hill. She took him to an upstairs kind of memorial to a fireman who died, and she summoned the ghosts of those fallen firemen, who then agreed to go and spy on the communists on Washington's Landing, who were corrupting the American way of life here in Pittsburgh. These ghosts had to be spoken to in a very specific way in order to get them to agree to the job. In essence, Alice was lying to them, or let's say embroidering how the truth and how she talked to them. Meanwhile, Jen Brown, very concerned about the fact that her two coterie mates have dropped to Humanity 4, was looking for a solution, looking for a way to increase their humanity, and thought that maybe there would be some sort of answer in her facility with alchemy. And in order to learn more, she went to Old Economy Village, the former haven of the Tremere clan. The Tremere clan, of course, are the sorceress vampires who know blood sorcery, who know a lot about the occult. Our coterie had some interactions with them farther back in the series. But suffice to say, Jen Brown went to their former haven, which had been abandoned, and she was looking around for some kind of books or knowledge that might help her. And instead, she found a gargoyle. There was a creature that actually was the thing that put Jen Brown in torpor at the end of, I believe, episode 30 of Vampires of Pittsburgh. It is a human or kindred trapped inside of an enormous stone body, and part of it is cracked open so you can see the human eye within. Yes, there is. It looks absolutely monstrous and could not be mistaken for a man in a coat. You know, if you put a big trench coat on it, that's not going to work. It's clearly what it is. And she found it in a dark room inside the Economy Village. And where I would like to start is with our friend Jen Brown. So, Ross, Abu, please stay and feel free to comment. But Jen Brown, this creature, you determined through a little bit of use of psychology that it probably likes to be ordered or to receive instructions from its masters. And so you told it to follow you, to obey you, and it has kind of made a kind of cowed gesture to you, and it's looking up at you. And I just want to repeat how creepy it is, because it's got this like snout, like a gargoyle from like Notre Dame or something, but like part of it is cracked open, and you can see like a human eye inside looking up at you. It's like clearly wearing a mask. And it is kind of looking up at you and waiting for further instruction.
Okay. Can it speak? Have I ever heard it speak?
You have never heard it speak. And, I mean, if it did, it would be muffled, because you can tell that the face is of all one piece. Its mouth doesn't move. There's no flesh inside. It's a big stone mask. Okay.
I'm going to, oh boy, I'm going to walk toward it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, your previous masters who abandoned you, are any of their tomes, texts, anything? Did they leave anything behind that you can show me?
Yeah. So earlier when you searched very thoroughly, you were unable to find anything. But this creature, and by the way, when you saw it last time, it leaped from the Cathedral of Learning. It fought Mary single-handedly. In action, it looked majestic and horrifying, right? But now, in the confines of these hallways, it seems like quite a pathetic beast. You know, it's lumbering through like these human-sized hallways. It's carrying this stone with it, almost like chains. You know, like it's hard for it to move, like when it's walking and not like leaping off of towers and things like that. But what it does is it takes you down a hallway. There is sort of a vent in one of the walls, but it's a very old one. This place was built, you know, in the early 1800s, and you can see like this vent has been kind of. It looks like at one point it was sort of plastered over, and there's been all kinds of renovations and things. But it sort of picks at the plaster along the edges of this old panel and pulls them off, and you are looking at a cloth parcel inside the vent there.
I take it out.
You can immediately tell that there are two oblong objects. It seems like books inside the cloth parcel that someone has hidden here.
Okay, I take the books out and
very good.
Look at them.
Yes. Jen Brown, all the way from the tech sector to the cauldron, because you have found some very strange books, and I'm going to describe them to you now. One, it looks like it was printed, in the last 30 or 40 years. And by printed, I mean it looks like almost like a zine or like a home printing press printed it up. Although it isn't thin. It's got some thickness. And it looks like, like something that somebody self-published. And you can see when you open it up in just that courier font, like someone just typed it out on a typewriter. It is called the Bahari Book of Nod. The Bahari Book of Nod. Okay. And paging through it, because this one is, it's not crumbling or anything like that. It's in quite good shape. You see that it seems like it has like scriptures in it that have been typed out in like, typewriter font. And then in certain places there are like symbols and strange things that have been printed into the book that look to you like some of the symbols that you've noticed when you studied alchemy a little bit.
Okay. Can I make sense of anything that's in the book? Does anything jump out at me?
It reads in English. It is in English, and yes, you can make sense of it. For just this skim, why don't you give me an intelligence plus academics roll? And you really only need. I'm going to give you information based on how many successes you get.
Okay. Intelligence plus academics. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Come on. We're going to go ahead and use a willpower on that one.
Really? Oh,
embarrassing.
Wow. No, it's not embarrassing.
Oh, now I got a critical success now.
Ooh, all right.
Oh, well, that's a totally different. All right. So what you're looking at is the Book of Nod, which you knew that your former mentor, patron, Mary, had been quite versed in. It also sort of like some of the legendary came up around when you played that visit to the Kelso Museum. But the story of how the vampire kind was created. Now, you know that the traditional story that the Camarilla talks about is that Cain was the founder of vampires. And the Book of Nod tells the story of how Cain was the first vampire and started the lines of the kindred. But this Bahari Book of Nod, it says that, in fact, it belongs to adherents of the path of Lilith. And it postulates that Lilith, in fact, Cain's lover, was the real first true vampire. And it talks about how Lilith put her own blood into a bowl or an urn and fed it to Cain and taught him her magic. And this book, in fact, also has some of her blood sorcery and rituals in it as well.
Ooh.
And if you want, based on your critical hit there, you could just read this for a while and spend XP, and I would allow you to learn blood sorcery. But wait, how is that going to work for a thin blood? Well, you're probably going to have to use other vampires' blood sometimes if you take some blood sorcery dots. And I'm not saying that you need to or you have to. I'm just saying it's an option for you now if you read all the way through this book.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Blood sorcery sounds pretty sweet. What XP? I don't even know how much XP I have still.
We I don't know it off the top of my head right now, but we can definitely, because this would be a process that would take, more than a few nights to read through it and learn these things. We could figure it out and then come back in next time if you wanted to spend with those abilities.
And then what about the other book?
It is The Secret.
That's right. It is. It tells you how to succeed by putting out there.
Imagine Dr. Orman going,
well, something that I'll give you with your critical as well is you think carefully, why were these books hidden? Why weren't they just on the shelves with the other books? And this one is quite compelling. It is called The Passion of Salo. The Passion of Salo. And this one is old. And it's a bit fragile. And it's bound in leather with gold embossing and looks like it might come from the 19th century. The language inside of it is quite a bit more archaic. And with your critical hit, I will go ahead and tell you what's in it as well. So, Jen Brown, I am going to say that you spend some hours here. You spend a lot of hours. You're going to spend the night. Until it's time to head back, you're studying in here. With this gargoyle just sitting at your feet watching you. This one is called The Passion of Salo, and it explains the journeys and lessons of Salo, founder of the Salubri clan and the originator of the Path of Golconda.
Do I recognize either of those words?
No, but as you read about Salo, you learn that he hated or he denied the predatory nature of his vampiric existence and sought for a path of peace and balance. And in fact, created a clan dedicated to those practices, the Salubri. This looks like the kind of thing you've been looking for. And you also see how it might be heresy, because what you learn as you're skimming through is that Tremere, the founder of the Tremere clan, was not an ancient vampire from Babylon. He was a 12th century sorcerer who diablerized Salo to start his own clan. It might not exactly be okay to be a Tremere and be carrying this book around, right? Because this book is very much from the point of view of an adherent of Salo. It is like reading scriptures about the Buddha or Jesus when you kind of skim through it.
Okay. And is there anything in there that I see as I read that would suggest that you can walk vampires that have embraced the beast to walk back toward humanity a little bit?
This is what it's about. It's like almost this sort of philosophical path that one can follow to regain their humanity. But it is almost like it's a religious text. What you could do is, if you read this one, you could spend XP, and then you would gain what is called a lore sheet. And a lore sheet is here in the back of our book. And it basically means that your character is part of a group or philosophy. So if you read it and you decided to adopt the Path of Golconda, you would gain the Golconda lore sheet. And you would start adding dice or adding dots to your Golconda knowledge. And eventually you could possibly complete the path and learn how to achieve perfect balance and serenity in your vampiric state.
Wow. I didn't know there was a Buddhist lineage of vampires.
Well, a lot of people didn't. It took us to episode 45 or whatever to get there. So, but it is out there. It is out there, and it is an option.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna pack this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
How far am I now from the Haven?
You're a little ways, so not to make it a super challenge for you, I would allow that. You're smart enough to go. Time to go.
Does this little guy follow me if I start to leave?
Very interesting. So as you kind of start to leave, it stops at the exit. It's like standing back in the darkness. Perhaps if it's okay with you, you're kind of standing right outside on like an old worn cobblestone walk where all the weeds are overgrown, and it's just inside in the darkness. The sky is getting a little bluer and it's not coming out.
Come with me.
It starts to venture out, but it looks hesitant. I'm going to need some kind of skill roll.
Okay. Let's see. Would intelligence plus charisma work?
Yeah, but explain to me how you're using intelligence. What knowledge are you bringing to bear?
Well, I'm wondering if there's some sort of like if there's something about it gaining power from the space, or if I can like glean anything from my interactions with the Tremere to understand why it would be hesitant to leave.
That makes sense. If you roll and if you can get 3 successes, I'll tell you what's going on and why it doesn't want to leave.
Okay. Had a critical success.
Very good.
Jen's killing it tonight.
Yeah, Jen is taking
nice.
Jen Brown, you realize that this thing has been commanded to guard this location. And that is why it is loath to leave. It is, its job is to kind of be a sentry here.
Okay.
Although it did a terrible job. It just did what you, you told it to. But, I mean, you are one of the kindred, and you somehow have connected with it. I can't tell you more than that right now.
Okay. I'm going to approach and sort of cautiously put a hand on its paw. I don't know if it takes comfort, but I'm going to try.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, your old masters left you here and they're not coming back. I won't leave you. Come with me.
Okay. So you succeeded in your intelligence plus charisma, and you're explaining to it why it no longer has to fulfill its function. And you see a twinkle of understanding in its eye, and it starts to follow you to your car.
Yeah.
There's no way it will fit in the car. It's got like an enormous stone wing.
It doesn't fly, right? It just leaps really cool.
It leaps really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I can't get this thing, if I don't have enough time to get this thing out, I think I'll probably just go back in and sleep there tonight with it.
Good. Very good. Great. I mean, it might follow you if you drive, but you can also do exactly as you've just said and stay there and study more. Would you like to study more?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to say that you decide not to go back to, and this is a little concerning maybe for Curtis and company, because you also ran out, if you recall. You had a messy critical in your decision-making process, and you just drove away from the
right.
Haven. So you disappeared, taking the Tahoe, and you just have not come back. But I will tell you that the first steps to the path of Galconda that you read, they say that you can eat from mortals on the first steps, but the idea is to do minimal harm. And this you find maybe sort of comforting or interesting, because it is sort of, if I'm reading you correctly, already Jen Brown's philosophy to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave you there, and I will say that Lucius, unless there was any other business, Alice tells you that you need to return to your haven and give the burnt men time to work, time to do their reconnoitering. Any objections to that, or any other actions you'd like to take before dawn?
No, I mean, like, I'd say what I'll do is as we leave, or as I leave with Alice, with Clara, I'm gonna sort of take my phone out and sort of like do the thing which is like tap tap, like as if it's like take pictures.
Of the place?
Yes, just to indicate. But I'm gonna, kind of aim to sort of, get Alice out with me, if that makes any sense to you, because I want it almost to be a bit incognito in a way.
So you're telling Clara to take the photos, right?
Mm.
Okay. I want to just tell you one reason why maybe you're having Clara do it. Lately, when you've been trying to use your phone, you realize that like the touch screen doesn't work for you anymore. It's like you're too cold. There's absolutely no like heat generated from your fingers, and so that's already been figured out. And so Clara like is quickly, and Clara, I mean, she's like, she wants to be a spy. She's just like easily, like very surreptitiously, like taking a bunch of photos of the firehouse. And then you can head back to the Haven. That's what Alice intends to do.
Yes. I'm gonna follow her back to the Haven with her.
Very good. So you, Clara, I believe that Circe was with you as well, and Alice head back to the Haven. And by the time you get back, it is time to go into slumber. And as you are kind of maybe crawling into your particular tanning bed, Alice stands in the doorway.
Are you just going to stand there and watch me sleep? Are you going to sleep in the doorway?
I was waiting for an invitation. She walks up and she's like, don't you know you have to invite a vampire in?
How traditional. And then I kind of like open the tanning bed a bit more for her to come inside.
She crawls in, and not to put too fine a point on it, she is trying to feed you her blood again. She doesn't just and start. She's just kind of like asking you if you want to engage in that practice.
And I put a hand on her wrist and I sort of say, "Not tonight."
She shrugs, and then you can tell the sun's coming up outside because she shrugs and then she is a corpse. That's how you guys go into slumber. At least that's how low humanity vampires go into slumber. I mean, someone like Jen Brown probably actually looks like a person like going to sleep. But you guys, like when you're ready to go under for the day, it's just kind of like.
So creepy.
Yeah, and that's what she pulls on you right now. So we will drop the curtain on them for the moment, and we'll check in with Curtis Krieger. Curtis, you saw Jen Brown rush out. There aren't a ton of hours left in the night. Do you count on her to take care of herself? What do you do?
I think everybody needs their space right now. Tension is running high. I did text her though. That was the last thing I had, was like, "Where are you?"
Oh, okay. Well, then we can retcon that whether Jen Brown responded to you or not, and she's welcome to yes or no respond.
Yeah, that would affect my attitude.
I kind of wonder if she wouldn't have even thought to look at her phone, because she went there in a frenzy and then she found a gargoyle and then she found the books that she was looking for. So I kind of wonder if maybe she just went into like research mode.
I think that's probably right. I think that she hasn't even looked at her phone. And so you're perhaps a bit worried, but we can metagame this a little bit, Curtis, because you're watching the show with us, that she's okay. Right. So I'm not going to make you like send out the search parties.
No. I think maybe it's more like and Curtis is like, "Damn it, I want to do something." And it's like to this oncoming evening is when we've been saying we're going to do a thing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's prep mode. It's like hoodie on, jacket, like loading all the weapons getting everything, all the guns locked, loaded, set up, ready.
Helping you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you guys have like laid out on like in the tanning salon office, like all these guns are laid out. Great. Yeah. When Clara gets back, she's super into this as well. She's like, wow. And like, she like tries to grab one of the guns and like hold it up. Okay. Nobody stops her. Cool.
I think at this point, I might have already tossed her one at some point and be like, you know how to use this?
Oh, great. Okay. She's like, this is mine. Yeah. I like it. I like it. And so I think that you've done some planning, and I think that we should respect that. So why don't you give me a roll that shows how good Curtis is at sort of prepping a tactical mission? And I think a great roll would be your intelligence plus something else. What do you think would work?
Leadership?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And the number of successes you get is going to determine kind of, those things will matter later when you're going on the mission.
Oh my God. Wait.
What happened?
I kind of botched it because I forgot to add my hunger, but it was a total failure. Let's just keep the.
Okay. Well, that's okay. What is your hunger at right now?
2.
Okay. So you're
can't
not
apply
like
willpower to it because I don't know what's what.
right. Okay. Well, let's put it this way, Curtis. You're on edge. You're on edge, and you're kind of snapping at people, including Craig and everybody. And details might have been missed because everybody is kind of scattered and tense. So
nice to fucking know if we're just going in. Are we going to create a diversion? I would love to know these sorts of things, but of course nobody tells me fucking anything.
Yep, that's right.
Here, Curtis. Go there, Curtis. Shoot this guy, Curtis.
With
you, Craig. I'm just fucking with you, Craig.
Poor Craig is like,
yeah, he's kind of like, all right, man, calm down, bro. And then dawn arrives, and so the day passes, and everybody must make a rouse roll to rise the next evening. Roll that one die. Tell me if it is a success or failure.
Success.
Failure.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, both of you get hungrier.
Are you guys like 4?
Liz hungry. I'm at 3.
Alice succeeds. Circe fails. Thana can't get back to you guys. She's been out for a while.
Oh yeah, where's Thana? Oops.
There's so many NPCs. They're off doing their own things, but Thana is not around. Make sure you mark that if you've gotten hungrier, Lucius and Curtis. And the next evening, I'm going to start with Jen Brown again. Jen Brown, do you head back to your haven now? Do you contact your friends? What do you do?
I wake up. What's the gargoyle doing when I wake up?
Standing at your side, staring at you.
I love this guy. He's such a creep. I'm gonna kind of pat his paw again. Her? Can I tell what?
The face inside, it's difficult to tell. Okay. Of course, the body is non-gendered. It's just a big stone creation.
I'll look at my
gargoyles are a construct.
I look at my phone, I think, since now I've slept and I've kind of gathered myself probably, and I see that Curtis texted me.
And I'm going to go ahead and roll with his failure that he texted you like 11 times.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Where are you? Near? Where are you?
Any emojis? You're not
kind
an emoji guy.
Yeah.
Syringe, fire truck.
You maybe get like the alarm, the smiley face that's upside down. You just get more and more cryptic. It's like, what is it?
Is he? Okay. I'm gonna text back on my way back, so he knows I'm okay. And then I'm gonna do sort of I'm gonna tell the gargoyle to follow me, and then I'm gonna try to take streets that are not going to be so conspicuous that a bunch of people are gonna see a full-on gargoyle running after a Tahoe.
Right. This thing has possibly already been trained in the arts of stealth.
Oh, okay.
Or it is just not following you, because as you take off in the Tahoe, you see no sign of it. You saw it kind of lumber across the street and up onto the wall of a building when you pulled out, and you haven't seen it since then. You keep looking in your rear view, checking your mirrors. But I'm going to rule, since you've decided to be kind of tricky in the way you get back, it takes you a little while to get back. And you probably are worried that you have lost it, or that you've just released it out into the wild and you're not sure what's happening with it. Let's return to Alice and Lucius. Alice lifts the lid off of the tanning bed,
and I'm going to grab the bed and then just slam it down and then be like, I'm hungry.
Okay, let's find some food. And she is walking out of the haven. She's walking possibly past Curtis, and she's like, we're hungry.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I look at either you heard from Jen? She text you, call you? You hear anything? Wait, hold on. Did and this is maybe also Ross the player being confused. Did Jen not spend the night here?
No, she spent it at the haven of the Premier.
She didn't come home in the morning. Wait. Does anybody know where she was going?
Everybody looks at each other, and Brad's like, nah, man, and she took my fucking truck, dude, and she owes me money, dude. If she fucking damages it in any way.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry, Brad, you'll get yours. And now Curtis, I think, is really kind of starting to freak. Where the fuck would she have gone? Where would she have gone?
I think I'm going to come out and then sort of like walk out and see like everyone going, and I see Curtis going a bit crazy. I'm like, what's happened?
Jen just took off. Last night, she's not back, man.
What?
She took off last night and she's not back.
Did you call her? Did you what? Where did she go?
I texted her like a couple times.
Just twice. Only twice.
What did she say?
Nothing, man. Radio silence.
Alice suddenly does this. She goes, oh, someone's here. And then she's like sniffing around the room, and then suddenly it feels very warm in the room. And you guys can see the walls are just kind of sweating slightly, like they might do on a very, very hot day. She's like, yes, I hear you. What have you seen? Yes. And she's listening to someone neither Curtis nor Lucius can see or hear.
I'm gonna be like, it's everything is fine. It's and I'm just gonna see if I'm sweating again. Be like,
yeah, you're sweating a little blood.
Yeah. It's just these are the eyes, our eyes. These are the eyes that we asked for, the eyes that we needed.
So this goes on for a little while, and then finally Alice turns back and she's like, I know things about our friends at Washington's Landing. Would you like to hear?
Yes, but first, Curtis, try and call her again.
Yeah,
Just
I pull
Jen
the phone.
pulls up. If it's okay with Jen, she pulls up. Yeah.
I'm
So
not
maybe-
even going to pay attention. I think I'm just going to be like, I get out of the car and I'm looking around.
Ross Curtis calls the phone, and I hear your ringtone when I like. Wait, what? Well, where are you? I like run out to you. Are you okay? You okay? What happened?
And that is when I want wits plus awareness rolls. Lucius, if you'd like, you can run out to Jen as well. Be part of this scene. Alice will also exit the Haven and kind of be standing with all of you. And I want wits plus awareness rolls from everybody.
3 successes.
3 successes.
1 success.
Yeah. So Curtis and Jen, you notice on a building across the street, you just see the top of like a stone wing kind of fold down.
I'm going to walk up and be like, it's okay. You can come down.
What?
Curtis, put that down. Put that down. Come on down.
The thing like moves to the edge of the building and it leaps, and you see that it like scurries between lamp lights so that it stays in the shadows, and soon it's like in the alley beside the tanning salon, kind of looking out at both of you.
I thought I lost you. I'm going to go up and just like pat its shoulder.
Very good. Jen Brown, you're patting its shoulder. You keep trying to show it human warmth. And sometimes it's a little eerie because it just kind of, but you have gotten some connection with it occasionally, like sometimes it like you see a twinkle in its eye, but right now when you're patting its shoulder, it's just kind of like,
What the fuck?
It's okay. It's okay.
At the same.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
oh my God. How did you? Alice like takes some steps toward it and is like looking it over. I had heard they could do this,
It's
but I'd
safe.
never seen one.
You don't have to worry. It's safe. It's listening to me. I wouldn't be here if it was dangerous. It's okay. I don't know what to call it. Do you have? I'm gonna look at it and be like, you don't have a name, do you?
It can't speak. It just kind of like looks at you.
I'll think about it. Anyway, I'm just gonna bring this thing inside. Sorry, not thing. Come on inside.
It's not staying in our room. And she goes into the tanning salon.
Our room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk past Lucius and bring the gargoyle in.
The gargoyle, in order to get in, it sort of has to tear down some of your barricades and things that you've put up, and so it's kind of difficult for it to get inside, and it sort of smashes through, sort of inelegantly, some of the barricades you put up. It enters the room.
What are you doing?
That is when Craig goes, "What the fuck, man?" And Brad Lockwood goes, "Holy shit!" And they fail their roles to not be fools for a moment, and they are pulling the guns that everybody prepared last night. Now it's time for the players to act, but the players need to be able to move quickly because Brad and Craig are about to open fire on this thing.
Okay, yeah, I read Jen's reaction and I try to get him to stand down. I run.
Okay, give me a roll, and you need to get more successes than they do on a. I'm going to give them sort of like a fast draw roll. So if you get more successes than they do on like their sort of fast draw roll, then you will get them to stand down. What roll are you going to make, Curtis?
Is this a roll to get there or a roll to get them to stand down?
This is the roll to get them to stand down. I think we can agree that you got inside, you see what's happening. So you can get them to stand down.
If this won't come in handy again, I'm gonna use that quell the beasts skill in my disciplines again.
There's absolutely no reason you should not. That is a really useful discipline power. That is a charisma plus animalism roll.
All right, here we go.
And in fact, since you're using a power and not just a skill, I'm not going to make it versus their skill. I'm just going to let them resist the way they normally resist that, and we'll see what happens.
And I know this is a stupid question, but I'll always have to roll to see if I get hungrier to use this.
I believe it does require a rouse. Let me check. Quell the beast. Yep, 1 rouse check.
Uh-oh.
Success.
Oh, good.
And here comes water. 3 successes.
3 successes versus their collective 2 successes. Each of them got 1 success. So you role play it. You succeeded. So their guns are coming up.
I think with lupine dexterity, he gonna jumps through the debris, and then like if they see this creature looming, and then Curtis's hand comes up over the creature's wing, and it's just like, stand down. And I feel like the way this hits is like it's like when a car rolls by with like max bass, and it's just like chest pressure on.
Right.
Oh,
again, it's like suddenly their arms just fall to their sides, and they even drop the side arms, clack onto the ground, and they kind of look like tired all of a sudden, like you've just knocked the wind out of them.
Relax.
This thing is now moving into the room, and it's clearly not hurting anybody. So Circe and Clara and the other people in there are not, really freaking out anymore. But when it's moving, it's like tearing calendars off the wall. It's like knocking over a printer that like kind of shatters onto the ground. And then eventually it kind of comes to rest. Yes, Curtis, sorry.
Oh no, I'm just like reacting to. Oh no.
Oh right, yeah, It's so big, and like some of your group, your allies, they kind of have like sleeping bags out here, and it's large and it's like heavy and ponderous, and it's like torn up their like sleeping arrangements walking in, but it's guys. Inside.
Sorry,
and I'm literally gonna be like, go up to Jen and be like, and I'm the troublemaker.
Look. I maybe didn't think that through, but I didn't really want a huge gargoyle just sitting outside of the tanning salon, right? So I'll put everything back to normal, okay? This is good. Is this not good?
Where were you? Where did you find this thing?
I needed some space, and I went and I found this, and it's listening to me. This is good, right? It's listening to me. This thing is powerful. Curtis, it almost took out Mary. Right? Yeah. This is good. Okay?
Yeah. It seemed like you had it almost under control last time until Bob went and fucked it all up.
Fucking Bob.
So let's not threaten our new friend here. But, shouldn't it be like, I don't know, on the roof or like on the corner of a, I don't know, architecture, just on the thing on this. Shouldn't it be like hanging over the side with a spout in its mouth?
I'm just worried about it being seen. It's not exactly inconspicuous.
Jen Brown, you had an alchemical apparatus that you were working with, didn't you? Like the phlebotomy kit and stuff like that here in the Haven, right?
Yes, I think that's what I used to help Lucius when he got diseased for a second.
That makes sense. The gargoyle now starts moving again, and it tears down the hallway, knocking more things over, and It moves. It looks back at you.
Why don't you show me where you would be most comfortable, as slowly and gently as you can?
It doesn't understand. It turns and it starts moving into Jen Brown's room where her tanning bed is. That's a small room, and it's kind of like literally ripping the wall as it goes inside. And there's some blood still in the phlebotomy kit, right? Like there's like a little bit of blood and stuff, and it breaks that open, and it starts like absorbing it into its like stone muzzle.
Oh. You feed?
It turns and looks back at you, and it's like it's just a stone face, but it's like now kind of like covered in like red glistening blood. But as you watch, it sort of absorbs into the stone.
Huh. Interesting.
In other words, you now, if you're keeping this thing, if you're gonna have a pet, you got to learn to feed it.
Quite the responsibility. Okay.
I'm gonna kind of look at Alice and be like, "What? Explain to me what is that thing? What is going on?"
The Tremere are masters of blood sorcery. In addition to the powers that you and I may control, they can sometimes create new bloodlines, beings that their vitae has affected in strange ways. I had heard about these things, but I thought that they died out in the Middle Ages.
Create new bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Exactly. It is fascinating, isn't it? This is what I keep telling you. The possibilities. There are possibilities that these people you're with haven't considered yet. She turns to everybody else. This is a good omen. This is good for us. If you're going to strike at Washington's Landing, that thing could be an asset. Yeah. And I happen to have the intel now.
What did you learn?
The burnt men have been watching. She kind of looks around to see if they're there. The communists out on Washington's Landing.
Communists?
Just roll with it.
River Run Properties. Actually, I'll do this as the game master. This is all that she's been told by the burnt men. River Run Properties contains 40 homes. Of these, one lot, they're divided into lots of 8, 5 lots of 8, and 1 lot of 8 is inhabited by vampires. The other houses in the development contain humans. Of these 2 lots of 8, the burnt men say that they have been sipping the blood of vampires. So 16 homes are quartering at least one person who's been kind of who shows up to the ghosts as having been infected, is the way they put it, by vampiric blood. And then there are 2 lots of 8, another 16 houses that are inhabited by normal humans, but the burnt men say that they saw them kind of going in and out of the vampire houses regularly. Some of them have normal jobs, normal lives and families, but they were visiting the houses of the vampires quite often. Alice says it's probably the herd.
Evolution society. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They've created their own little beautiful suburban oasis in the middle of Pittsburgh. The Camarilla is currently distracted by some sort of big event. They seemed like they were preparing for something, and more vampires were showing up. But they seem quite distracted by whatever this event is. The gates, here are the defenses. The gates are guarded by cameras. There are 4 armed guards on duty at all times. And they seem to know everybody going in and out of the development. And Alice tells you the burnt men could take care of the cameras for us. And while it is, well, that's all she has, actually. That's all she has. And someone can make an insight roll if they'd like. Difficulty 4.
Ooh. Just insight?
That's right.
Okay, I would not be able to make that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can add that to your wits if you'd like,
Okay.
Okay.
or your manipulation.
Difficulty 4. Okay.
Yeah, 4 successes necessary.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Got 2.
What's that? You
I
got
got
2?
2 successes.
Anybody? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's the info that she has for you.
Perhaps maybe we should, if they seem concerned and busy, maybe we should strike while they're preoccupied.
Oh,
We might be-
absolutely. We have to strike now.
We
Tonight.
might be able to get in and just get Sabrina and and take care of your Archon and get out. Depending on how distracted they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's time to do something. Do you have a sense of where in the facility Sabrina is?
Unfortunately, the burnt men don't have a dossier on the kindred in Pittsburgh. They were unable to identify which house belongs to who, but they know where the vampires are quartering. And that's when Clara says, like, I've been in there. I know there's one house that stays unguarded the whole time. Remember, Luce? I went in there. I mean, these ghosts haven't told us anything I didn't already know.
Great. Well, Clara, maybe we should then pitch inside, attack from inside. Might be a good idea.
This big thing they're planning. Did the burnt men, did they see anything in terms of what sort of preparations they're making?
He said that more kindred were arriving and that they appeared to be setting up a small outdoor area in the center of one of the houses for some sort of meeting.
A meeting.
I mean, maybe that. I tell you, when we went to the water treatment facility, there were vampires there I'd never seen before. I marked this lady as an out-of-towner. I think they're freaking out because of the Inquisition. They're trying to, if they're willing to poison the water supply of the whole town, then it just means they're cooking up some other way to strike back at them.
All right.
But while their eye is off us, then we got to get in there.
We need to be clear about what we're doing here.
Yes.
Right? We're not waging war. We're not trying to wipe them out. We're trying to get what we need and get out. Is that right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, agreed.
Was that Alice?
Yeah. And Circe will also step forward and go, I'm going to.
All right.
I just want to hurt them.
Circe, we don't know how many they're going to be. You're going to come out when we leave. We're leaving, right?
She lights a cigarette and she's like, she has to force herself to breathe to make this work. And she's like, totally, I'll follow the plan. Just let me hurt someone.
Okay. So.
Okay. Can I look at Circe? I know I just did an insight roll, but can I look at Circe and Alice and kind of gauge them?
Yeah, you can look at them and try to gauge them. What are you trying to find out exactly?
Alice hasn't said anything about Buddy around me, right? Probably only around Lucius.
That's right.
Okay. I guess I'm trying to gauge whether or not I feel like I can trust that if we bail that they're going to leave with us or if they're going to keep starting shit.
Right. That's a fair, you want to make sure they're going to follow your plan. So
Yeah.
I will allow another insight roll or a leadership roll to determine that. And you can use intelligence to know
Okay.
that. Mm-hmm.
Great. I'll do leadership plus intelligence then.
3 successes.
That's enough for you to know that Circe means it. She just wants to be part of the strike force. Like, she just wants to go in and fuck them up a little bit. Alice, you find to be, I mean, she's the one that's come to you with the entire layout. Like, she's definitely going, but she's a little bit impenetrable.
Okay.
You're not as a leader, your whole or at least when you were a company head, you'd say that this is the type of person who is a troublesome employee because they do not really, you can tell there's not like sort of a respect of the hierarchy there.
Okay.
So you're saying when we're done, we go. And she's like, of course. But you can tell that she doesn't give a shit what you think.
Okay. I'm going to say then maybe I'm going to tell everyone to start preparing. And then I'm going to ask Lucius and Curtis to come in the other room with me.
Way ahead of you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Look, I just want to make sure that at least the 3 of us are on the same page. We're getting Sabrina, we're killing your Archon, and we're getting out. Right? And if anyone decides to stick around for their own agenda, we leave them. We can't risk the rest of the group.
I mean, I'm crazy, but I know that going against 101, Lord knows how many kindred, we'd probably be outnumbered, outgunned.
I just want to make sure that if Alice tries something, that you're willing to do what needs to be done to get the rest of us out safe.
She is her own thing.
Okay. Curtis, what do you suggest we do?
All right. I mean, odds aren't exactly in our favor. Going into a subdivision with over a dozen houses full of the enemy, trying to extract one person who, I might add, is probably so mind-fucked that they're not going to want to come willingly.
I know.
And kill one of the most powerful vampires on the scene. So complicated. The longer we can go without being noticed, the better. Or the longer the extraction team can go without being noticed, the better. So if you've got loose cannons who just want to fuck shit up and just want to hurt them, those seem like the sort of people that you might want to have drawing your fire away from what the actual mission is.
Right. How... I don't want her to be cannon fodder, though. How can we get her out after she's distracted them?
You heard her. She said she'll follow the plan.
So what's the plan to get her out?
What I'm saying is I trust her to make that choice on her own. The plan for all of us to get out is to get out. What, are we going to wait for our air support to come in? We're going to have to go in there and then run away. Unless we come in with multiple vehicles, which I don't know we've got.
If you'd like, Curtis, since you are a tactical guy, you could make a roll right now to see if you can come up with like possible, infiltration plans, exfiltration plans.
What would that be? Like wits plus maybe leadership?
Yeah, that's right. That's let's use that. That sounds great. The amount of successes you get will give you the number of possible plans and approaches.
Great. Okay. Wish I had less hunger, but it's just 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, that's enough for me to give you this. So the front gate, right? According to the burnt men and what Alice is telling you of the burnt men's reconnaissance, and according to how the property is laid out, and you're able to quickly kind of bring up whatever the Google map or whatever. The property, if you went in through the gate, you'd be having to go past ghouls, guards, and then you would go past that area that's like where they're having a meeting, right? And of course, very smartly, the vampire little section of housing is in the back, right? Up near the river, up near the water. It's the most expensive houses in the subdivision. There's a wall, and I mean it is a wall, like a retaining wall, high and cement around the subdivision, but it has some like razor wire at the top, like things to prevent, but it's not quite. If people have, I don't know, supernatural abilities to climb up it, or they're willing to do a water landing and attack that way, it probably is going to be a safer point of infiltration than coming in through the front door through the gate. I say that not to prescribe what to do, but that is what your 2 successes gives you.
Okay.
3 or 4 may have given you more, but we can't re-roll now.
Right. So I know it's a wall. Do I know if there's like a climb is great for getting in, not so much for getting out with people. Do I know if, and this might not be something I know from Google Maps, unless from the river street view, would there be a maintenance access door anywhere in that wall, or is it just a?
Yeah, it doesn't look like there is. It looks like everything goes in and out through the front gates. Even trucks and things like that. If Jen does like some tech foo, you might even be able to get like some current like video footage of the place or something like that.
I love tech foo. Shall I?
Yeah. Do some intelligence plus technology to see if you can find if there's any kind of like way to get into CCTV around there or anything like that.
5 successes. I
Oh,
love that roll.
You are on one today.
You're on fire.
Real.
It's about time, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to make the internet magic, but 5 successes means I have to fulfill my promise. So I was going to give you a little bit. Now I'll give you something. You see that even you see the gates. You see the main gates because they are not far from like some street lights and some places where some traffic cameras are located. And Jen, with her 5 successes, has managed to hack into those and get a live feed. And one thing that you see is an enormous truck leaving, and it's leaving at night, which is strange. Semi truck, and it's a bottled water truck.
Okay, I relay that to the guys.
You guys are having a little trouble concentrating.
Because I'm hungry as hell.
Do I notice that?
Yeah, you notice that when they're hungry. Yeah, you have a sense of that.
Look, maybe you guys should have a bit to eat before we do this. I feel like the more sated.
When I get there.
Lucius, we need you sharp and focused. You are not sharp and focused right now. You need to go feed.
And I'm just going to storm out and go find and shout Alice down the hallway.
She is immediately at your side, walking with you out the door.
Will you go with them, please?
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
She says,
Please.
"There's an easy way to solve this, darling."
And then
Just take a little bit of what I have.
I take her into my room and I begin feeding.
Great.
So I see that they go in there. I'm like, okay. But if we're doing this now, I gotta have a bite.
Yeah.
So I mean, God,
Craig approaches you and is like, "If we're moving tonight, there's no time for you to go on a hunting trip, Kurt. That takes hours.
It'll eat up some time.
Yeah. Now.
I can't help him, right? With my what is it called?
Your alchemy, your
my
diffractionating ability. Yeah, you could actually. What you could do is you know, if he is able to summon some animals, you could maybe diffractionate the blood, but that's also not a instant process. It's not a wave of a magic wand. It will take some time. It'll probably take less time than a hunting expedition.
All right. I think this might be stretching the boundaries of Curtis's sense of morality, but he has 4 humanity now. So I'm like, yeah, you're right, Craig. It's going to take a long time, but I mean, there's another solution, but you're probably not into it.
You want to feed from me?
Just
Oh no.
just a little. Just take the edge off, man. If you want to do this tonight, then time is of the essence.
All right, man. I trust you.
Oh.
But remember, go easy because you need me on this with you.
Yeah, man. Don't worry. Look. All right. You trust me, right?
With my life.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't, you know. All right. Don't worry. This won't hurt at all. And he goes for it.
Okay, great. So let me make sure. And you probably know these things, but let's see how much it will give you without hurting him. And we know it'll take at least one. It'll take at least one off, right?
Mm-hmm. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah. Oh, is that all you need? Is that all you want?
Yeah. I really do. I really do just want a sip.
Okay, then a sip it is, and you take one sip, and you are back to a fighting form there, or not fighting form, but you've lost a point of hunger. Lucius, you're feeding from a vampire, so you can go ahead. Well, her potency is probably equal to yours, so you're only going to take off
a lot of potency.
Do you want 2 points of hunger? It's going to make her hungrier.
So yes, I just want like 1 point off.
Okay, great. So you take a sip as well. I want a willpower roll from our friend Curtis Krieger.
Willpower from me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay. Oh fuck. So Craig reacts like when the needle goes in with the heroin hit, and he's like, but then the effect of the kiss goes in, and you can feel him kind of submit, and 1 success. I don't know. You take 2.
Okay.
You take 2.
2 hunger. So I get 2 hunger off?
You get 2 hunger off, but that's not good because
now
that
Craig
means that might put him out of commission for the mission.
Right.
Let's see. Let's see here. I have to check, but I think
I've been rolling awfully.
Yeah.
Every time it's really counted.
Rolling awful, and then on top of that, I feel like you've just been hungry for the last 3 sessions.
Yeah.
This is why people have herds and things like that to prevent this kind of issue.
And I need my strength for
why
whatever
can't
we're
I
about to
find
do.
my chart that says how much you can take without? Here, it'll be easier this way. So I'm going to find out exactly what's happening to Craig. You've only made. I want a willpower roll from you as well. But what was your hunger starting at there, Lucius?
4.
4. Okay. So then you need a willpower roll as well, please. Yeah.
So the willpower roll is adding the amount of die in the willpower, right?
Mm-hmm. And some people have quite high willpowers. But it should be whatever it's currently at. So when you spend willpower, if you spent down to where you only have 2 left, you're only rolling 2 when you use a willpower roll.
Yeah. I think I've got I haven't done many willpower rolls, but I think I've lost some because of my actions. And I think I've used 1 or 2. So I'm going to just say 4 for now.
That sounds right, actually. Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. rolling.
Oh no, that's not a good face.
Total failure.
Oh man, really off to a great start.
Okay, so wow, this is unexpected. So okay, a sip from a human gets 2 hunger off. Maximum non-harmful drink from a human 2. I'm gonna rule that you take more than you thought you were going to, my friend Curtis, but it's just gonna throw your friend off a little bit. He's still ready, man. Let's do this. He looks pale.
I think he comes off the wrist, and it's just like it's like, you okay? You okay? Huh?
Yeah.
And he's like still kind of, huh?
Yeah. I'm good, man. Let's do this.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Fuck yeah,
Fuck
man.
them up, dude.
Blood brothers, man.
Go in there, Blood Brothers, brother. Yeah, yeah. I want you to make a wits plus awareness roll, Curtis, because someone is watching this, and also I would like a let's see here. So you were not able to just take a sip. You took 2, and you made Alice quite hungrier. Actually, what did you got a messy? Did you get a critically fail there, Lucius? You take more than that. You take 3 from her. Her hunger is now all the way up to, I think, like 4. She's like ravenous, and when you finally leave her, she's like, "The fuck do you think you're doing, you fool?" She's really, really fucking acting feral now. She's like kind of like moving around the room like an animal.
Can I try and like calm her? Can I try and like almost like dominate her to kind of be like down, like calm? You will get food from, and try and almost like tell her like food will be on the way, and like almost I'm trying to like channel this beast to try and be like, when we get to the camp, there will be like so many people, so much blood.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you should do it because she's starting to head out the room like she's looking for someone to feed on. So this needs to be a success. Lucius Ali, why don't you give me a roll? I think composure, because this is all about composure. Like you're acting calm, telling her to calm herself, and then you can add to that persuasion.
Okay.
And let's see, she's at 4 hunger, so I'm going to say you need at least 3 hunger. I'm sorry, 3 successes rather, in order to make her kind of hold off.
And a willpower.
3.
There you go. She is like, okay, but we go now.
No, we go now.
All right. So how did you do on your wits plus awareness roll, Curtis?
2 successes.
Yeah, you noticed that Dylan has just was looking through the doorway at you. Probably because you guys were shouting, but she probably clearly realizes what just went on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I clock that she notices.
Mm-hmm. She kind of has run back into the building.
Yeah, I'm still in my reverie with my boy.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
She's the only other. Just to make clear what that might mean is she's the only other mortal. Brad's a ghoul. Like she's the only other mortal hanging around, and she's just watched you feed on your best friend. Like it's not great for optics.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. So now our coterie is fed, healthy, with allies they can definitely count on.
Can I say while these fellas were doing what they were doing that I went to go talk to my gargoyle pal?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes.
I'm going to sit across from him and take out my phone, and pull up a picture of Sabrina and show it and say, we're going to go find this person. I need your help to find this person. We're going to find her and bring her back here safely.
the thing moves up, and that eye looks at the phone carefully, and then returns to sort of, its stone-like waiting position.
Okay. Question.
Yeah.
Is there any room or possibility that I could ride on this thing's back?
Well, let's see. I mean, I want
There
to.
hasn't been a gargoyle rider in millennia.
I mean, actually, I want to protect the gritty, edgy tone of the story we're telling here.
I'm having an Airbud side mission
Oh,
thing over
God.
here.
There's nothing in the rule book that says a gargoyle can't play basketball.
I want to protect like the hardcore, like just like so serious narrative. But my answer is, of course, yes. My answer is yes. This thing is pretty large. It has like normal handholds. The only thing is, I'm going to say that like it's not like a given that if shit happens, you won't have to roll to like hold on or
I was thinking that I would like fashion almost like I would like wrap something around the gargoyle and myself to like keep me secured.
Yeah, this is happening. Someone needs to give me a quick dexterity plus craft roll. And it doesn't have to be you. It can be one of your other allies.
I've actually got that.
Ooh.
Let's see if I roll badly now. Dexterity plus craft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. Okay. Here we go. 3 successes.
You feel secure in your. They've got like it's like got duct tape and like belts.
This is brilliant.
It's secure. Vampires of Pittsburgh has just become a Harry Potter book.
I'm thinking like Khaleesi and a dragon, man. Like,
that's better. You're right.
Like
absolutely.
Like Falcor.
Yeah.
The mother of dragons is in the house. Can
I do one more thing really quickly? I'm sorry.
Of course you may. Of course. I mean, you're taped to a gargoyle, but go ahead.
Before I did that, could I say that I also maybe pocketed like a sedative since I have my little like weird lab station that I'm hoping that if we see Sabrina, I can just dose her and then grab her?
I think that's completely fine. I would love a intelligence plus medicine roll from you. And that is not going to, I'm not going to say, no, you can't do that, but I'm going to say it will kind of affect possibly how easily deliverable it is, things like that.
2 successes?
Okay, 2 successes. So is your thought that this is like in a needle, like a syringe that you could just like jab into somebody?
Yeah, like if I got her, I could just, and then...
All right, so it's difficult, and let me just explain why. 2 successes means you don't have like the cool sci-fi thing that we see in movies where it's like you have like a syringe, and you have to be able to like get it into a vein, and that means making a medicine roll on her. But if you do that, you will have given her a sedative that puts her out in like 3 rounds, or makes her kind of like half asleep in like 3 rounds. And you're
we do have a doctor.
That's true. And the other thing about it is that you think you've made it powerful enough to counteract even the effects of like the vitae in her system.
Okay.
Can
Lucius help me make this easier?
Oh, I mean, absolutely, Lucius. If you'd like to make a intelligence plus medicine roll, Lucius might be able to set you up with it being a little stronger.
6 successes.
So Lucius is like, here's how we're going to do it. And Lucius,
you're like, why didn't you ask me first?
Lucius talks to Brad Lockwood, and he creates a new sedative that is mostly heroin. Because that's what you have at hand. And it's going to be more effective. So now it's going to hit her fast. It's not going to be like a couple round process. And you won't need as many successes with that jab. Like it's, if it gets into her bloodstream at all, it's going to start to knock her out.
I'm gonna get her hooked on. Oh my god! I'm just like speed, then Vitae. Now it's gonna be heroin.
Boy,
That's the chemical you have, available to you. And
All right. Okay.
and okay. So just so it's clear in my mind, we've got Vamps by the front gate having a meeting. We've got right.
Right, so you got a gatehouse, sort of like in and out, like like at a Hollywood studio or something, or like a guarded subdivision.
But we got a Sparklets truck going in and out.
Sparklets truck is going in and out.
Okay.
There are ghouls that guard that front area. They said usually at least 4. And then inside there is sort of this courtyard area. Kind of a park inside the subdivision, and that's where they're setting up that whole meeting. Any attempt to get back to the vampire homes would have to go past that, right? The road sort of goes right through it. Beyond that, there are, sections of housing, and the one in the back, near the water, is the section of 8 that are inhabited currently by kindred.
Okay. Cool. I would like to create some sort of diversion with the big crew so they don't pounce on us right away, whether it's tossing fire at their meeting place or doing something to draw them away from where the action will be, which could blow up in our faces if Sabrina is at the meeting. But so there's that.
Well, we could always I think like I'm also seeing Alice, and I'm just kind of like as well, like, guys, we need to just move and assess the situation as it is. Please.
Okay. Can we send somebody maybe to I don't know, throw some gas on the front gate?
Sure. Clara loves that mission. Do you want her to throw like a Molotov at the front gate?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just get the fuck out.
And I'm just going to look at her and be like, as soon as you do that, get somewhere safe.
Of course. I know what I'm doing, Lush.
Yeah, I know. You say that a lot, and you seem to be more capable than all of us here. So, yes. Put it down, please.
All right. Okay. I'm just saying, if anybody comes at me, I'm just going to drop them, and then I'll run.
Do you want to be with her, Lucius? At the front? Maybe? Because if someone comes for her that isn't, mortal?
Yes, I know.
I mean, I could also do it. I could create the diversion, and you two could go in and do the extraction.
Jen Brown, one thing I will say is that it seems very likely that the gargoyle could handle the walls, right? Like,
and he's stealthy, yeah?
Yeah. When it comes to moving about buildings outside, he's stealthy. When it comes to moving inside, the opposite of stealthy.
Okay. I mean, I can go on the back and jump the wall and look for Sabrina.
Good.
I mean, Lucius could come with me, I guess, if he wants to find the Archon. There's probably room.
But can I strap myself on with her? Would you show me the world?
I'm afraid only one passenger.
No, that's fine. But yeah, okay, cool. But I think I'm gonna stay with you, Jen, or try and keep up with you. I think I trust Clara to be able to handle herself. I mean, she's like, again, I've seen what she can do. Besides, I'll probably hold her back more rather than necessarily. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I'll just be like, no, I'll stay with you. So
very good. So Curtis, where are you? And are you with Clara, like kind of with the frontal assault, or are you going in the other way?
Yeah, I'm like thinking now. If we're going stealth, then maybe it's best not to even do anything up there.
Alice is staying with Lucius. She wants to get and feed on the vampires.
Right. Okay. So she's going to come with also.
She's not going to be stealthy though. Probably she's real hungry.
If you want to convince her otherwise, then you need a nice, big, successful roll right now, and it's going to be tough because she's like almost near to frenzying.
Lucius, as far as stealth goes,
Jen, she is my problem.
Yeah, but she's going to be mine if she comes with us.
She will be fine.
You hear Dylan scream, I said quit looking at me? And Alice kind of like turns to all of you and stops looking at Dylan.
Oh.
We need to go. We need to go now.
I'm going ahead then.
Fine.
And I just
All right.
take off on the gargoyle.
Great. Look, how can I describe this magical journey? Leaping from rooftop to rooftop, climbing along like fire escapes. It is a bumpy ride, Gent Brown, but maybe you're enjoying it. And you are headed toward Washington's Landing. The others, I don't know that the plan is totally in place yet, but you have 2 cars, and so is Lucius and Alice going to follow up with Jen Brown?
Yeah, so we'll probably in the cars. Yeah, we'll probably drive back with.
Okay, so you guys will take like the Celica or whatever we said it was, like the small car. And do you want to take anybody else with you? Clara's going with the other mission, so she has to go in the Tahoe. Is there anybody else with you, Lucius, or is it just you two?
Cersei.
Oh, and Cersei, thank you. Yes. Okay. So they're all on the stealth mission, and they're following, and you guys do not see the gargoyle. Like, that's how good it is at kind of like becoming part of the architecture as it moves through the city. But you know where you're going. You know that you're going to, you'd planned it out. We said that you'd planned it out. So a side of the Allegheny River that kind of is the shortest distance through the water to that kind of big retaining wall that backs the housing development.
And then I'm gonna kind of on the journey. I'm just gonna try and message with my cold fingers if I can, Curtis, and be like, keep touch base, frequently.
Rouse roll.
Send.
Make a rouse roll. I know that this is so silly, but remember when I used to always make people get pink? Well, this is like part of the difficulty now. You have lost humanity, and so things like this require you to like make a rouse roll to even like get enough heat to kind of send messages and stuff like that.
I was successful.
Great. You don't get hungrier, and you were able to do that. Possibly, if I may, Lucius, you like sit there and you have to concentrate to get warmth into your hand, and then you send the message. Yeah. Very good. And let's talk to Curtis. So the Celica is heading through the city to its rendezvous point, and with Cersei, Alice, and Lucius, and Curtis Krieger. Where are you and Clara and Craig? And is Brad with you as well, driver?
I think, Brad, driver, is our extractor, drives us out. And our mission, it seems, is to create chaos by the gate, allowing the extraction team to enter from the river wall. Molotov up the gate.
Okay, great. I'm gonna just tell you how a Molotov works. I'm gonna say, because you said that you spent a whole roll preparing weapons all night and things like that. That you prepared some Molotovs
and steaks.
Right? And steaks. Ooh. Okay. Let's see if I can find our Molotov stats here. You guys are headed in the Tahoe, and do you want to park away from the gate and then like sneak up, or do you want to like try to just blast through the gate and start attacking?
This is the thing. If the idea is to, as much as I'd like to be there and help my friends real close, I can't lead them back. So I kind of have to lead them away. Would be the best thing. So, I think this is a park and sneak.
A park and sneak. Okay. So I'm going to deal with the distraction first. The distraction will affect how the game goes for everybody else. Let's take our time with this, because this is a big mission, everybody. I just want you guys to know we can take our time, get it right. We don't need to rush through. I want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in the rows you want them in when we act, so that you don't suffer a loss like at the Cathedral of Learning. It's a simple extraction. It helps to be clear about the objective. It's an extraction of Sabrina. It is Lucius is going to have a tough time leaving without at least attacking his sire, okay, who is somewhere in there possibly. But Lucius's real goal is to destroy his sire. Alice's goal is apparently to feed, so she's not going to have an easy time leaving unless that happens. Circe, you believe that she'll just fuck some shit up and leave. Clara, you believe she'll do her job, make some chaos, get out of the way. And Curtis, you are protecting your friends as usual. You're trying to keep the heat off of them. So these are our objectives. Let's keep those in mind also while we play through something like this, because that helps sometimes. Okay, here we go. Let's start with. Yes, are you nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. These things can really go sideways sometimes, but I think that you have some assets you didn't have last time you were in a situation like this. One of which you are riding on the back of through the city like Atreyu.
Never-ending story.
Yeah, and Brad is singing the never-ending story. So let's start. As the other team moves toward the backway mission, Curtis Krieger, you've parked the Tahoe. You have Brad, you have Craig, and you have Clara. Clara's got 2 Molotovs in her hands, and she's like, let's do this.
I love Clara.
So I'm looking at a bridge that leads up to a guard gate.
Yeah, you guys are, probably 200 yards away from even that bridge, kind of in, some greenery and some trees over to the side.
Okay. And beyond that, this meeting is taking place in an open air courtyard?
Inside the housing subdevelopment. So you would go through the gate, you would go past some houses that sort of form a ring around this sort of internal park.
Okay. Okay. So let's set fire to the gatehouse.
Great. Stealth approach?
Yes. We're just a couple. We're just a couple out for an evening stroll.
You and Clara. Are Brad and Craig
is providing cover from the bushes.
Oh, great. Okay, so let Craig do his stealth to kind of get up in like firing range here. Let him do his deal for that. Let me check out Craig here. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. Craig sends you a text in position. Brad's is Brad staying with the Tahoe?
Staying with the car, ready to be baby driver if things go crazy.
I'm ready, baby. What's in his earbuds? Seeger.
Night moves. Great. Okay.
Yeah. And so Clara's ready. Are you guys going to stealth up?
Yep.
All right. Clara's good at stealth.
I'm pretty good.
Why don't you give me a Dex plus stealth?
All right. Okay.
First thing I'll tell you about these security guards as you get in sight of them is that they, you can tell because you were in the military, Curtis, these aren't like normal security guards. They don't look like regular Joes, like with a beer belly and a mortgage. They look like guys who are in front of a suburban subdivision, and they're like kind of like at attention, like holding like their hands on their weapon, like kind of carefully scanning, like and you get the vibe of like when soldiers were on sentry duty. How did you do?
3 successes.
3 successes. Clara got 4.
Ooh, nice, Clara.
Let's see if they can beat you.
My sister right there.
Let's see if they can
it runs in the family.
Yeah, possibly Curtis is like, Clara, and she's like, over here.
Don't do that. Yeah.
And here we go. Let's see how they do on their attempt to see you guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's a critical.
No.
They got 2 10s. Yeah, they made a critical. And so suddenly you see one of them like say something into a walkie-talkie, and 2 of them are out getting out in front of the gate, but like staying behind kind of cover because there's like they've set up sort of like, you know, those like big pieces of concrete that sometimes like stop cars from going off the side of the highway. There's like a couple of those set up like to the sides of the gate, like toward the front, and they're kind of moving forward, and they've clocked you, and you can see that they're already like aiming their guns, and they're going, "Stop where you are! Come out where we can see you!"
I tell Claire, I'm like, as soon as they go down, throw them. And then I walk towards them like, "Hey guys, you know how to get to the baseball field? I'm trying to figure. I got turned around, me and the missus."
So you're saying as soon as you go down, or as soon as they go down? Is that
They go down.
Oh,
Or
okay.
yeah.
So I don't know how. Well, as your storyteller, I don't know how they're going to go down. But what they're saying is like, get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head, sir.
Hey
Get down
guys,
on the ground and put.
maybe everybody should just relax. And I try to quell the
Yeah.
beast.
Okay. So for this quell, now keep in mind there are two that have kind of taken cover and come up like close, and there are two still back in those guard shacks. There's like a guard shack to leave and a guard shack to go in, right? So and they're watching you as well, and they seem to be like on phones and like, you know, typing things or something. So
Great.
if you can get all four, if you can get 4 successes, I'll allow you to get 4 guys, but they're going to roll a resistance roll as a group, and their successes are going to cancel out your successes.
Okay.
So you'll get some of them, but not all of them is probably the likely.
Kidding me. Okay.
I don't like what I'm hearing.
How many? What's the max? What's my target?
Your target is to get 4 successes, but you also need to beat their successes on their. They're going to make a stamina plus resolve roll.
Sorry.
Oh, it is?
Total failure.
Oh God. Okay.
You
tell them to.
I used willpower and failed everything again.
Oh,
wait.
no.
Okay, wait. There's one last thing. You might have a discipline reroll coming to you, Curtis. Because what is your blood potency now?
It's still 1.
Your blood potency is still 1? Oh my God. You didn't even go up in blood potency yet. Even though you did that diablerie.
I spent the money on. I spent my blood money on. I spent my blood money on this Quell the Beast ability, which is totally
power. It's not a reroll. It's a power bonus. You get like
flash panning right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's what happens. They resist automatically with your total failure, and they open fire on Curtis Krieger.
Hey, whatever. Clara, go. Clara, do your thing. I said it would be a diversion. Clara, throw the fucking bottles.
Okay, 1, 2. Let's see if Clara's waiting for them to go down.
I've just failed all over the place tonight.
Okay,
it's great. Don't worry about it, man. I believe you.
You take 8 superficial damage.
Ooh.
Okay.
You take 8 superficial damage. Possibly you didn't get pink, which is also why they were not at all believing that you were.
No, it was neglect because I'm masked, but that's the full amount. That's not halved or anything, right? That's just 8 superficial.
It is halved. It is. So it ends up being 4.
Okay.
It is halved for you. So bullets fill Curtis Krieger. Then a couple things happen. Clara runs forward and goes, "Fuck you, pigs!" and tosses. Let's see how she does.
I love her.
This is already really fun. So fun. So she has to roll a throw skill. Difficulty.
Come on,
4.
Clara.
This is where it lands on.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Let's see how she does. She might be good at this.
She had better stealth.
She had great stealth because it's been established that she acts as like a lure for Lucius to bring vampires close to him so he can feed on them. So she is kind of like a little spy, you know what I mean? But like, let's see how she is at like throwing Molotov cocktails. She's fucking pretty good at it. She just got 4 successes.
I'm glad somebody's good in this operation. Fucking A.
Her Molotov goes like really far. It actually sails over the head of the guys that shot you, hits one of the guard shacks, and boom, fire goes up in the guard shack. And the guy has to like get out of the guard shack because it's like flaming. Then something else happens, Curtis Krieger, and I'm giving you this
Naturally.
as a freebie. An enormous pit bull comes running out of the woods and tackles one of the.
You're with it. She's with us. She's with us. Oh,
of course, she's with you, Ruby. We can't forget Ruby.
No
Let's
way.
see how Ruby does on her attack. Oh, let's not
Good
lose
girl.
a die here. Good girl, Ruby. 2 successes, but they weren't they weren't watching out for her at all. So this guy's like just taking like 2 damage to his arm as Ruby is like. So just to be clear on who's still in play and who's not. Of the 4 guards, one is kind of doing invasive action to get out of his burning guard check right now. The other one's dealing with Ruby, and the 2 others are, one still has his gun up, and one is still kind of finishing up with whatever kind of alert procedures they have. And Clara has another Molotov. What would you like to do? Oh, someone else needs to act. Why is he even there if not to act?
Someone's covering us.
Yep, someone's covering you and should have probably done something about that fire. But if you recall, he's feeling a little lightheaded.
Right. He's a little loopy.
In fact, let's go ahead and take 2 dice off of this big firearms dice pool our friend Craig has.
Queg's hungry. Oh,
Oh.
Craig is a little lightheaded. Here he goes.
should have had some gorp.
He still did a good job. He still
That's my
got 2
man.
successes. And so like his gun is like, it's like, doom, doom. And he takes down the one that Ruby isn't like biting on. Like it's suddenly, goom, goom, the guy gets hit twice, but it's clear that the guy might be wearing a bulletproof vest, but he just like fall to his like onto his ass, like from being hit by 2 bullets, and is kind of like holding himself and like laying there. So that leaves the only guy that's really up and active is the guy back in his like guard shack, the one that's not on fire.
The one who's on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah. So I'm going to let him do something, which is, he is going to get done talking, whatever he's doing, and he's going to pull his weapon and step out of the guard shack. And now everybody can kind of talk about what they would like to do this round. Curtis, let's start with you.
Okay, guns are already out. I whip my pistol out of my belt and I try to take out the guy who just stepped out of the who just dropped the walkie-talkie and stepped out of the guard shack.
Okay, you're going to do that. Ostensibly, your friend Craig is going to fire again. Clara is going to throw her other Molotov. And Ruby is going to keep taking down the guy that she's on. Am I missing anybody? That's it, right? So let's all roll to do those things. Here comes Clara's throw. You can go ahead and roll your firearms attack, Curtis Krieger. And Curtis Krieger, remember that you can also make rouse rolls to heal yourself every round.
Oh, great. Okay.
If you'd like.
Great.
All
right, that's
Jared has such a good poker face whenever he's rolling dice.
I know, it's so good.
not me. I'm just like,
I'd be like, ooh.
to write some of this down. Okay.
He's so stoic.
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Very proud of your sister, Lucius.
Thanks.
Yeah.
He's doing great. MVP.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Totally.
Like, I don't know where I'd be without. I should be playing Clara, not fucking Lucius, man.
Clara rocks.
Okay. So, Craig. Sorry, Craig. Okay. So, how'd you do, Curtis Krieger?
3 successes.
Nice.
Okay. So, that's pretty good. And this guard fires at you, the one that you're firing at to try to stop. And your gun hits first. So, you blast him for 3 successes. And that's when Craig hits him too. And he's down.
Yeah.
So, it's like, bang, bang, bang. He gets hit again. And he like hits the ground as soon as he runs out of his guard shack. The one that is wrestling with Ruby is not like dead, but he is not having. She's getting more successes than him, so he's like now on the ground, like being like gnawed by Ruby. Clara throws her Molotov. And it hits. It's not as much of a direct hit, so it doesn't endanger anybody, but another big fire goes up. She only got 3 successes that time. So another big fire goes up. It just doesn't like, and then the guard who was kind of in the shack that caught on fire, and he was kind of on fire, he's managed to put his fire out, and he's active now, and I'm going to let him take the action of like, getting out and getting like behind cover, and like he can fire in this next round. But we are going to step away for a second. Yes. We're going to step away for a second, and we're going to see what's happening with the other team. So the Celica pulls up you're actually looking across the river at the backside of River Run Properties. And over the retaining wall, you can just see the tops of the quaint little modern suburban, 2-story split levels or whatever, like poking up their heads. And all of these houses, they have an upper window or two that give them a nice view of the beautiful river. Oh, how nice for them. And when you arrive in the Celica, Alice is kind of like looking around, and let me see something. Okay, there's nobody on the street, and she's like, fuck. And Circe's like, sister, wait, the blood will flow. And that's the real fun group that you've found yourself in a Celica with, my friend Lucius. And that is when suddenly out of the shadows, something lands in a tree nearby, and you can see the tree just kind of shake, but that's all you see. And that's Jen Brown on the back of her magical hippogriff. That's Khaleesi.
Great. I'm just gonna look and see. Is the wall scalable or anything scalable?
It would be difficult because it's just kind of flat, and it's not made of like bricks or anything. Like it's like modern construction. It's made to not be scalable. But they also it was made for a housing subdivision, not for a military fort. So it's not that high. And if someone had equipment or superhuman strength, they could do it.
Okay, because I'm gonna try and I'm just gonna kind of get out the car and go, let's go, and just start making my way towards.
So that there is the Allegheny there that you'd have to cross, and Alice, right? Yes, but Alice is like, yeah, and she just wades down into the water and just doesn't stop walking, and then just like her head goes under.
Brilliant.
And Circe's like, not breathing is sort of an advantage in this particular situation. And she
follow as
also
well.
Yeah. And so now you guys are like moving under the water, and like you're able to just kind of like you're kind of fighting the current a little bit. And it's so cold and it's so dark and murky, but you can kind of just barely kind of feel their forms ahead of you, more in the way of like you can kind of feel their vitae kind of like dum, 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 you kind of feel the warmth of their vitae ahead of you, and you guys are like moving through the water. Maybe the very tops of your heads sometimes come up. There's a little swimming. You're not just kind of walking on the bottom like deep sea divers. And then Jen Brown, are you telling your companion to cross?
Yes. I wonder if I could have him leap somewhere where he's still blending in, but I can see down into what's going on to see if the meeting has scattered or if what's happening.
Is that what you're yes, that is what you're telling him to do. So the gargoyle kind of leaps from tree to tree for a little bit, and then finds a very tall building on still on the far side of the river. And Jen Brown, there's just no way to kind of see down into the subdivision unless you go over there. He would have to go over to that retaining wall.
Is there any way for him to blend in? Like
over there? Yeah, it's not covered in floodlights or anything. So in theory, the gargoyle could get over to that wall and be kind of in shadow, not be. Yeah. Okay. So the gargoyle leaps down into the water, and it's like splashes up like crazy, Jen Brown. And Jen Brown, you are sort of more human, so you feel like you're drowning and you're tied to this thing. I need a willpower roll.
Okay. Okay.
Nobody told me how they were going to handle a river. And maybe I wasn't clear enough, but here we are in the drama. Okay.
2 successes?
2 successes is enough, Jen Brown, that you don't like completely freak out. But like this thing is just moving, and it's almost like you know, your lungs fill with water, and you realize, you know, you have to keep reminding yourself, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not drowning. I'm dead. I'm not drowning. And the other thing you get the feeling of is you've strapped yourself to a warhead. Like this thing is just like boom, like, you know what I mean? Like you're just like and you're like spitting water when it finally like easily like scales, like it just puts its claws into the side of the wall and pulls you up to the top of the wall. Lucius, Alice, and Circe begin to, in a very different and dramatic way, emerge from the water, like, you know, the drowned dead coming up out of the sea, moving toward the wall. They look up and they can see you. You're hidden from anybody that would be in the subdivision, but, you know, they're part of the mission, so they can see you up there. And as the gargoyle takes the top of the wall, you can see out over the subdivision. Far on the other side, you see some flickering fires coming from somewhere. But more immediately, you see this all these rows of houses, and then this big kind of courtyard. Looks like there's like a bandstand and a gazebo and a baseball diamond. Oh, it's a little slice of heaven right here in the Steel City. But it's nighttime. And for some reason, there's a big meeting going on in that area. And that meeting, there is a big stage set up at the bandstand. And it looks like someone is kind of tied up, like in front of everybody. And there are figures standing around him on stage and many figures sitting around the entire area. And that is when the I guess air raid siren goes off that they have set up, and everybody at the meeting starts getting up, and it's total chaos, and a lot of them are running back toward the back of the housing division, where you are kind of perched up on the wall looking down at all of them. And that is where we will end it today.
Oh my God.
The mission will conclude next time, I think. Maybe it might even take us 2 more sessions, but this is big. This is the confrontation with the Archon. This is the rescue of Sabrina. And unfortunately, maybe the distraction has just alerted them. Who knows? Good luck, everybody. I'm really excited.
Oh man.
Thoughts, feelings?
Oh boy.
I'm just terrified.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't worry, you're super powerful vampires with all kinds of special superpowers, and you've got a living tank working for you.
I'm worried about what happens to Jen if Sabrina comes out and it's dead, but I guess we'll see.
Well, that would be bad for her. Stains would cover her sheet, and in fact, I think that, you know, I have to look carefully into the rules, but I think you took some stains when she originally got taken over to the Nosferatu. But
yes,
depending on what happens here, it could be, you know, it's interesting because you set your character up as caring about this humanity journey, and this is going to be key to that because this is her touchstone. If her touchstone gets hurt, or if her touchstone hates her, or there's like this conflict, that could affect your humanity. So
what are stains, by the way? How do they affect? Sorry, I know that we've
no,
finished,
great.
like,
yeah, great question. And and you know, basically we said, Abu, do you want to play? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, let's do it. And then like figuring it out as we go along. That's how we've all played the game. But by the way, to the frustration of some viewers who are like, why haven't you told them that in the 12th century, the Concord of Worms decided on vampiric law? And I get that. I mean, I don't mean to just make fun, because I get that. Like, you know, I kind of think just jumping in and getting to the action is a better way to learn these things. But what I will say, stains are what happens when a vampire does unforgivable awful things. Like they start to accumulate stains. In the game, stains fill up the other side of their humanity tracker. So if you track humanity going left to right, like the way you read, and you fill in your humanity dots, stains fill it in the other way. And when stains hit your humanity, then you have to roll to see if you start losing humanity. And you've taken a couple, actually, but you also automatically lost humanity, Abu, from Diablerie, which is, it's absorbing someone's soul. So anytime you violate your convictions, take actions against your touchstone, I'm not going to call...
Is that what I did?
I'm not going to call that an action against your touchstone yet. Yeah. I think that you didn't coerce him in any way. It was consensual, and to him it was like prepping for a battle. But you're going down that path, right? Like you are headed down that path. Like if he's a snack, then you definitely are on the way to a stain. What another crazy session, but I loved it, you guys. Some fantastic play. Congratulations. No matter what happens, you're kicking ass. You're kicking ass as a player.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I want to thank Ross, Bryant, Ashley, Burch, and Abu Saleem for being here with us today. Please follow them on socials. Tell them how much you loved their performance today, and watch and follow everything they do. I'll say goodbye to them till next week. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jared. Great stuff. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. I'm going to do end of show business, and I have time for a question or comment or two. Here we go. Thursday at 4 p.m. We're back on the Stereo app for more Campaign Promises, the chat series where Secret GM Clint and I challenge each other to run our dream role-playing campaigns, and we take your live questions and comments. Download the Stereo app at the link in our chat. And I just want to also say, how many people think that Clinton Trucks is a born broadcaster and also an incredible performer on these streams? If you saw him on Thanko Tuesdays, Clint Trucks, you need to be on more of our shows as a player, I think. And Clint Trucks, it's happening. It's happening. And then also Clint Trucks is arguably better at podcasting than me. I talk really fast and mangle my words, and Clinton Trucks actually knows how to speak like an adult. All right. Later that night, Thursday, at 7 p.m. Pacific, we band of lone wolves. We will continue our sojourn through Flight from the Dark by Joe Deaver and Gary Chalk, the first of the beloved Lone Wolf series of solo role-playing games. Join us and help us make every fateful decision along the way. You can be a lone wolf with us. So we'll be back to play more of Flight from the Dark in the Lone Wolf series on Thursday. So there's no Thaco this week, and there is no Neptune Society this week. They will both be back very soon. We just have to kind of stagger things a little bit so that I don't go insane because or Clint doesn't go insane because there's just a lot. There's just a lot of games, and we want to play them all. But there will be a new Blood and Blade Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific. It's time for the Tin Whistles, and they are ready to blow. Troy LaValle, Joe O'Brien, and the Glass Cannon podcast, along with Stream of Blood's own Ross Bryant, get criminal in our shared Blades in the Dark series. This will be a downtime chapter, and hopefully, I think probably we'll be able to work in some of the things that happened in the faction turn in this downtime chapter, at least letting the Tin Whistles know that stuff has affected our game world. So that's exciting that these things are starting to interact and affect each other. Stream of Blood's a podcast. Subscribe, rate, review it. Let us know how you feel about it, and please tell people about it, because if they listen, it'll help them find the Twitch channel and the YouTubes, and it'll just help the brand more. So check out the podcast when and if you can. Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition is part of the World of Darkness from Paradox Interactive and published by Modiphius Games. Original artwork for Vampires of Pittsburgh was by Will Pottorff. See more at willpottorff.com. That's Pottorff. And original music, incredible music, is by Axel Cases Taylor. Hear more at soundcloud.com. Spread the word about the Stream of Blood. Follow us on Twitch and subscribe for special emotes and benefits. We're on Instagram and Twitter and on Reddit. And the best way to connect with us is on our Discord. the Server of Blood, where we are, again, doling out things for subscribers. We just had them all participate in a faction turn for our Blades in the Dark game. But there's other things. There's other stuff that we're doing on that Discord. And it's the best way to let us know what games you'd like to see or things you'd like to tell us about the games. And we're also on Facebook, and we have a Facebook group there. Okay, is there any comment or question that we could throw up for a second? Which book does Lone Wolf become a kindred? Oh, that's sort of a silly question. But the Lone Wolf books do get pretty weird and advanced. Y'all should check out our Iron Sworn for solo RPGs too. Iron Sworn. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Is it a book series? What is Iron Sworn? I'm looking it up. I know solo RPGs are becoming a thing now, and I really think that's really fun. For example, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is a solo RPG. Iron Sworn tabletop RPG. Oh, this is cool. A tabletop RPG of Perilous Quests. Check it out. Has Jared ever used a roll for a decision in real life? God, I probably should. But I don't think I have. No, I really very much love rolling for random decisions in the game and having the NPCs' decisions be affected by that sometime if I think they can go either way. But in my real life, I'm the captain of the ship, and look how well it's going. I'm wearing a warlock shirt and pretending to be multiple vampires at 10 a.m. in the morning. I think that's pretty good. I feel like Dylan should be struggling pretty hard with Miles' death. She's also actively in the same room with the person who caused her a ton of drama. Will we see more cutscenes how Dylan is dealing with this, or is that too dark? Buffy, it's a super great question. And I feel like we really kind of confronted it head on last session. This session, we are moving towards sort of a mission we've been kind of, or a big encounter we've been moving toward for, I think, the entire time we've been playing Lockdown. So I that took a little bit of that, we got a little less attention on Dylan that time today. But we still mentioned it. We still mentioned that she's there watching and she's seeing how horrible her friends have become. 100% we are going to deal with it. We're going to see Dylan's reaction. And so far, it doesn't seem like it's going to be good. It seems like Dylan might be possibly leaving the coterie. Based on what's happening right now. But remember, Dylan had a request for Lucius, which was destroy Alice. That could change Dylan's mind. And it could be an interesting little encounter for Lucius as well. Lots of things could happen with her, but I do think that we should deal with it and we should talk about it. And we should, it's not too dark as long as we all agree that we're trying to handle it the best way we can with respect and all of that. So I'm interested to find out what happens. A lot of it is based on the player decisions. All right. I'm going to say special thanks to Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks, our social media manager, Megan Arch, our YouTube producer, Matt Moynihan, and the Stream of Blood logo, which was created by our friend Garrett Ross, and our opening animation by Andrew Orvidal. Thank you, all of you guys who helped make this possible. Until next time, #GetPink, baby. Get sucking your blood.